Uno. Flip like judo. You act too culo. You and no chance, you go. Pockets too big, they sumo. Pockets too big, they sumo. Pockets too.
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's a good matchup in the AFC South between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. This is taking you the 13. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's got room. Yeah, he's got to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. They didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Off the play fake, here's Rosen. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play action sack. Now a play fake here on first down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. He finds his target, Fuller. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one will go down as 33 yards on the 3rd down conversion. Well, that didn't take very long. You mentioned you have to keep him under wraps. Avoid the big play is what you said, and here he makes one in the first quarter.
Yeah, you can't let this become a habit. Otherwise, you know what will happen? They'll flat out take over this game.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On 1st down, Mahomes. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down. 25.
Well, it's just been an aerial attack all the way downfield, and they're putting it to the defense in a big way right now. What do you think, partner? Do you now run the football? Because they're in a pretty good spot already at the outer edges of the field goal.
But, like you always tell me, you're still far enough away from the end zone that a pass could be a good option here, too.
You know, we always talk about running the ball until people take it away from you. I don't see any reason to stop throwing it until they take it away from you as well.
Well, the early returns here on the opening drive, though, solid. That'll go as a loss of 5, and it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Left, 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 left.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
That's how you get right up off of the mat, because on the last play, they stoned him in the backfield and dropped him for a loss. But he's the type of guy that scared me a little bit because he's not daunted. Just got right back up, showed some confidence, and picked up a first down with his very next run.
The Texans with a first opportunity now from the red zone. They've got a 1st and goal to go at the 7. Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great effort there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have taken the early lead. Then they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
This will be taken about the 12. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks, because then the defense has the advantage. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
On 2nd down, Rosen. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now Mahomes. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. offense. Deshaun Hall. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's going to need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company.
Ace! Kill! Black 58 rail! Black 58 rail! Run up!
Working from the gun, Mahomes. He's going to let this one go deep. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're 1 to the good. Go ahead and try and pressure advantage.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And the Colts coming out now. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it to the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
He's got the hook up to Lee. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On 2nd down, here's Rosen. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that. Touchdown, Houston! A big play there. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts...
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
All right, here we go.
Now Rosen to throw on second down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner?
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line.
It's been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Now a look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
You better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And a nice pickup there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
He's going to get it running right. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Texans will extend their lead. And his kick is right through. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked...
Trying to get it to Ebron, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And he will have a touchdown. That pick 6 extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the third quarter But things don't improve fast then. I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Josh Rosen and company getting set for their next possession. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On third down, Rosen. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Texans send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's in his zone, second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Texans continue to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Josh Rosen and company getting set for their next possession. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. This quarterback now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Hot.
From the gun, it's Rosen. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. And now the Texans want to call another timeout, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1.
Now let's go. Green 39.
Now Rosen looking at a 3rd and 2. Throw left side complete. It's Porter. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very solid gain of 27.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make the play on the football.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
All right, here we go.
2nd and 10 now. It's Rosen throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as he'll try to get 3 before half. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And the Texans set to come onto the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick.
Will Fuller, nobody there to stop him. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans add on. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
All right, here we go.
Here's Rosen. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. On the tackle, Tyrann Mathieu.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And let's shift our attention to Will Fuller. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Ace!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another 13 yards there twice in a row, and they're on the move. Another first down as well.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great play there. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Texans continue to pour it on.
Partner, this running back's having a heck of a day on the ground. He just keeps punching it in and rushing for touchdown after touchdown.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
And they'll run it here. Finding some room at midfield. The 30. The 20. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And it's for pride now, but the Colts get a bit closer. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken short. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. On the crossing route, complete. That's Fuller. A big-time play there for the Texans. 47 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. Twisting away. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he's going to be taken down right at the line.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Kalen Ballage, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans add on.
Could not block that one any better. Everyone was accounted for, and a great surge by the offensive line.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a 2nd time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage. Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that 2nd score here in the 3rd quarter. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there. Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to... Back now in Houston, and this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Rosen. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Porter. 20, 10, and he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Colts gain a bit of respectability. Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready? Yeah. Cosmetics. Just makes things look a little better. I don't know. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. Yeah, and it's hard to do, too. And the pig doesn't like the lipstick a heck of a lot, but you do like the fact that they're battling down the stretch, still trying to put something on the board, even though this game is over. By the way, how rude is that to the pig? Look at all the things they give us. Pulled pork, bacon. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt. Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does. He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down. And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away. Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. He's got his man on the crossing route. And out across midfield down to the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football. And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue. Exercise those fingers. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Now Mahomes throwing on 2nd down. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. A 13-yard touchdown run. And the Texans continue to pour it on.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken near the 13. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Rosen on 1st and 10. Lee's got it over the middle. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage. Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. The Colts on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 4.
Let's go! Green, 39! Green!
Throwing again, it's Rosen. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get him there for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Now a look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
Black 58 rail! Black 58 rail! 53 flight! Check, 53 flight!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Mahomes now on 1st down. Flushed out right. Shaheen, the tight end, on the right side. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on third down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Throwing is Mahomes on third. Wide open receiver complete. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
So that drive, 4 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken about the 12. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo
exactly.
going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Hurry up, here we go.
Here's Rosen to throw. Ebron caught left side. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
All right, here we go.
Again, it's Rosen. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. It's caught at the 10. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. A huge play that time for the Colts. 41 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys are just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Texans, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll be on the road next week.